Good day, everyone. Today, I will present my research entitled Understanding Behavioral Intention Toward Eye-Controlled Automated Wheelchairs. Evidence from Philippines using structural equation modeling. This presentation will cover the major parts of the paper, from the background and research problem to the methodology, results, discussion, and conclusion. The central point of this study is the assistive technology does not succeed through engineering alone. Even if a device is technically advanced, it still needs to perceive as useful, easy to use, acceptable, and worth adopting by potential users and stakeholders. This is why this paper uses the Technology Acceptance Model, or TAM, together with the SEM style analysis to explain behavioral intention toward eye-controlled automated wheelchairs in the Philippine context. Why is this study matter? The study began with the idea that mobility is a basic requirement for living independently. It affects how a person participates in school, work, healthcare, family life, and the community. However, not all people with mobility limitations can use traditional wheelchairs control. Some individuals with severe physical disabilities, neurological condition, spinal cord injuries, or limited upper limb function may find manual or joystick controlled wheelchairs difficult or impossible to use. This is where eye-controlled automated wheelchairs become relevant. By allowing movement through eye gaze or eye movement, the technology provides a possible alternative for people who cannot rely on hand-based controls. This directly connects the study to ergonomics because the technology must fit the user's physical capability, comfort, and functional needs. Philippine context and research gap. In the Philippines, disability and functional difficulty remains important public concerns. The paper cites the Philippine Statistics Authority, which reported at 8.7% of the household populations aged 5 years old and above had at least one functional difficulty in the 2020 census. This gives the study a clear social and local relevance globally, and World Health Organization also emphasized that assistive technology improves functioning and inclusion, but access remained unequal. The research gap is that while eye-controlled wheelchairs have been studied and developed in international contexts, there is still limited empirical evidence regarding their acceptance in the Philippines. This is important because adoption is not just a technical matter. In the Philippine settings, affordability, caregiver assistance, support systems, familiarity with assistive technologies, and trust in automated devices may influence whether people will actually accept this type of wheelchairs. What is an eye-controlled automated wheelchair? An eye-controlled automated wheelchair is an assistive mobility device that uses eye gaze, eye movement, or eye tracking signals to control the movement. Instead of using arms, hands, or fingers, the users interact with the wheelchair through visual commands. This can especially valuable for people with severe motor impairment, spinal cord injury, or neurological condition that limit physical control. The recent studies have shown that eye-controlled system can be applied in assistive robotics and human-computer interaction. But the paper emphasized that technical efficiency alone does not guarantee adoption. A device may be innovative, but if the user thinks it's complicated, uncomfortable, unsafe, or not worth using, then adoption may remain low. That is why this study examines behavioral intention rather than focusing on only engineering performance. Theoretical anchor, technology acceptance model. The theoretical foundation of the paper is the Technology Acceptance Model, or TAM. Developed by Fred Davis, TAM is appropriate because this research is not merely asking whether eye-controlled wheelchairs are technically possible. Instead, it asks whether people are likely to accept and use the technology. TAM explained that perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use are major determinants of technology acceptance. In this study, perceived usefulness means the belief that the wheelchair can improve mobility, independence, convenience, and the quality of life. Perceived ease of use means that the belief that the system is understandable and not difficult to operate through an eye movement or gaze control. These perceptions are expected to influence attitude towards use, and attitude is expected to influence the behavioral intentions. Slide. Research problem and objectives. The problem statement focuses on determining the factors that influence behavioral intention toward eye-controlled automated wheelchairs among potential users and relevant stakeholders in the Philippines. The study is guided by 6 specific objectives. First, it determines the perceived usefulness of the technology. Second, it determines the perceived ease of use. Third, it examines whether ease of use influences usefulness. Fourth, it assesses whether usefulness and ease of use influence attitude towards use. Fifth, it determines whether attitude influences behavioral intention. Finally, it tests the proposed TAM-based model using structural equation modeling. Together, this objective creates a clear path from perception to attitude to intention. Scope and delimitations and significance. The paper clearly limits its scope to technology acceptance. This means that it does not test the actual engineering performance of a wheelchair prototype, nor does it measure long-term clinical outcomes. Instead, it focuses on 4 acceptance variables: perceived usefulness, perceived ease of use, attitude toward use, and behavioral intention. This boundary is important because it prevents the study from claiming more than what the data can support. The studies is significant because the result can help developers design and more user-centered assistive devices, help rehabilitation professionals understand users' readiness, and help policymakers plan more inclusive mobility programs. Overall, the study supports the development of assistive technologies that are not only functional but also acceptable and responsive to users. Hypothesis for predicted relationship. The study tests 4 hypotheses based on TAM. H1, hypothesis 1 predicts that perceived ease of use significantly influences perceived usefulness. This means that if the respondents believe that the wheelchair is easier to learn and to operate, they are also more likely consider it useful. Hypothesis 2 predicts that the perceived ease of use influences attitude towards use. Hypothesis 3 predicts the perceived usefulness influences attitude toward use. Finally, hypothesis 4 predicts that the attitude toward the influences behavioral intention. These hypotheses are important because they structure the study to measurable paths. Instead of making a general claim that the technology is acceptable, the paper identify which perceptions are expected to influence attitude and intentions. Methodology and research design. The study uses a quantitative descriptive correlational research design. This is appropriate because the researcher wants to measure perceptions, attitudes, and behavioral intentions numerically through a questionnaire. It is descriptive because it summarizes the levels of variables, and correlational because it examines relationship among them without manipulating any variable. The study also uses structural equation modeling, or SEM. SEM is suitable because the model contains latent constructs such as perceived usefulness and attitude, which are measured through multiple indicators. SEM allowed the researchers to examine several relationships at the same time and determine whether the proposed TAM-based model fits the data. Respondents and sampling. The respondents may include persons with mobility impairments, caregivers, rehabilitation patients, healthcare professionals, physical therapists, occupational therapists, and individuals familiar with assistive technologies. The sampling technique is purposive sampling, which is reasonable because the study needs respondents who have relevant knowledge, experience, or awareness of the mobility assistive devices. The respondents must be at least 18 years old and must voluntarily agree to participate. The paper also targets at least 200 respondents. This is important because SEM generally requires a sufficient sample size for stable estimates and acceptance model testing. In short, the respondents are selected not randomly from the entire population, but strategically from the groups that can provide meaningful responses about the assistive mobility technology. The research instrument and measurement. The research instrument is structured questionnaires adapted from TAM-related studies and modified to fit the context of eye-controlled automated wheelchairs. The questionnaire has two major parts. The first part gathered demographic information such as age, sex, occupation, role, familiarity with assistive technology, and experience with mobility devices. The second part measures the TAM construct, perceived usefulness, perceived ease of use, attitude towards use, and behavioral intentions. A 5-point Likert scale is used from strongly disagree to strongly agree. The paper also states that the questionnaire should undergo content validation by an expert and may be pilot tested using Cronbach's alpha. This is important because credibility of the result depends on whether the items are clear, relevant, and internally consistent. Data gathering and statistical treatment. For data gathering, the researchers will first secure permission and inform consent. The respondents will be informed about the purpose of the study, confidentiality, voluntary participation, and their right to withdraw. Surveys may be distributed online through Google Forms or face-to-face when applicable. After data collections, responses will be encoded and analyzed using statistical software such as SPSS, AMOS, or Smart PLS. The statistical treatment is aligned with the objectives. Frequency and percentage describe respondents' profile. Mean and standard deviation describe the level of each construct. Cronbach's alphas assesses reliability. Finally, SEM or SEM-style path analysis examines the relationship among TAM construct and can assess model fit through indices such as CFI, TLI, RMSEA, SRMR, and CMIN over DF. Ethical consideration. The study observes ethical standards for research involving human participants. Participation is voluntary, and the respondents can withdraw at any time without any consequences. The researchers will protect the confidentiality by ensuring that the person informed and responses are not disclosed in the final paper. The data will only be used for academic and research purposes. The study also ensures that the respondents will not experience physical, psychological, or emotional harm during survey. This ethical section is especially important because the topic involves persons with disabilities, caregivers, and health-related stakeholders. So the researchers must treat all participants with respect, sensitivity, and confidentiality. Result section. Important note. Before discussing the result, it is very important to clarify that the result in the current paper are labeled as simulated respondents or simulated results. This means that the results are useful as a demonstration of how final results can and discussion may look after actual data collection. But they should not be represented as actual survey data unless real participants were surveyed. In a research defense or classroom presentation, being transparent about the about this protects the integrity of the paper. We can say that the analysis shows the expected direction of the TAM model and provides a pilot-style illustration of how the questionnaires, reliability analysis, descriptive statistics, correlations, and paths result may be presented. Respondent's profile. The simulated respondent profile was shown a mean age of 36.66 years with a standard deviation of 9.71. The age range is from 18 to 62 years old. In terms of sex, the simulated data are almost balanced with 48.5% female, 49% male, and 2.5 preferring not to say the role distribution. Not to say the role distribution includes persons with mobility impairment, physical therapists, students, caregivers, healthcare professionals, occupational therapists, rehabilitation patients, and others. This mix is useful for the topic because the acceptance of eye-controlled wheelchairs may be viewed not only by potential users but also caregivers and rehabilitation professionals who may influence adoption decisions. Familiarity and mobility device experience. This simulated data also describe respondents' familiarity with assistive technology and prior mobility device experience. The largest group of respondents was familiar with assistive technology at 37.5%, while 19% were very familiar. This suggests that the considerable portion of the simulated respondents have some awareness of assistive technologies. In terms of experience, 53.5% had prior mobility device experience, while 46.5% did not. Additionally, 60% had heard of eye-controlled wheelchairs. These profile variables are more important because familiarity and prior exposure may shape how respondents evaluate usefulness, ease of use, and intention to adapt to new assistive technology. Descriptive statistics of TAM constructs. The descriptive statistics of show generally favorable perception towards eye-controlled automated wheelchairs. Behavioral intention has the highest mean at 4.05, followed by attitude towards use at 4.00, perceived usefulness at 3.86, and perceived ease of use at 3.54. All of these are interpreted as high. This means that the simulated dataset respondents generally see the technology positively. The reliability values are strong, with Cronbach's alpha values ranging from 0.884 to 0.907. This suggests that the items within each construct are internally consistent. From research perspective, this supports the use of questionnaires indicator because the items appear to measure their intended construct consistently. Correlation analysis. The correlation matrix shows positive relationships among all TAM construct. This means that one of the construct increases, the other also tend to increase. The strongest relationship is between perceived usefulness and attitude towards use. With a correlation of 0.067, this suggests that when respondents view the technology as useful, they also tend to have more favorable attitude toward using it. Attitude towards use and behavioral intention also show a positive relationship of 0.550. This supports the TAM assumption that perception influences attitude, and attitude helps explain intention to use or support the technology. This correlation do not prove causation by themselves, but they provide initial support for the proposed structured model. Hypothesis testing. The simulated path results support all four hypotheses. Hypothesis 1 showed that the perceived ease of use positively influences perceived usefulness. In practical terms, if users think the wheelchair is easy to learn and operate, they are more likely to view it as useful. Hypothesis 2 shows that the perceived ease of use also influences attitude towards use. Hypothesis 3 showed that the perceived usefulness is influences attitude towards use, and the path has the highest standardized estimate of 0.607. This means usefulness is a particularly strong predictor of attitude in the simulated results. Hypothesis 4 shows that the attitude towards use influences behavioral intention. Overall, the pattern supports that the technology acceptance model, ease of use and usefulness shape attitude, and attitude shapes intention. Model fits. The simulated model fit indices suggest that the proposed TAM-based model has acceptable to good fit. The CMIN over DF value is 1.92, which is acceptable. The CFI is 0.953 and the TLI is 0.941, both indicating good comparative fit. RMSEA is 0.068, which is acceptable, and SRMR is 0.052, which is also suggests good fit. However, it is important to repeat that these are simulated values. In the actual study, this model fit indices must be generated using real data from actual respondents and reported exactly as produced by the selected SEM software. The purpose of presenting this value here is to show SEM result may be reported and interpreted. What the results imply? Discussion. The discussion emphasized that the user acceptance depends on how many people perceive the technology. If the respondents believe that eye-controlled wheelchairs can improve independence, convenience, and quality of life, they are more likely to develop a positive attitude toward using them. Perceived usefulness is especially important because the device directly affects mobility and daily functioning. At the same time, perceived ease of use matter because eye-controlled wheelchairs are technology advanced. Some users say Some users may see them as complicated or intimidating at first. If the system is perceived as understandable and user-friendly, users may become more comfortable with the idea of adoption. The relationship between attitude and the behavioral intention also shows that acceptance is not automatic. Users need to feel positive and confident before they will be willing to use, recommend, or support the technology. Implication for the Philippine settings. In the Philippine settings, the finding implied that acceptance of eye-controlled automated wheelchairs on may depend on more than the device itself. The technology should be intuitive, comfortable, and easy to learn. Healthcare professionals and rehabilitation teams may also need to provide training, demonstration, and caregiver orientation because trust and confidence can influence adoption. Policymakers should consider affordability and accessibility because a use of technology may still be difficult to adapt if it's too expensive or unavailable. For researchers, the next step is to collect actual survey data and validate the purpose SEM model. This will also allow the researchers to determine whether the simulated patterns hold true among real Filipino respondents. Conclusion. To conclude, the study shows that the technology acceptance model is useful framework for explaining behavioral intention toward eye-controlled automated wheelchairs. In the simulated results, perceived ease of use influence perceived usefulness and attitude towards use. Perceived usefulness also influence attitude, and attitude influence behavioral intention. These tell us that acceptance depends on both practical benefit and user comfort. For future work, the researchers should collect real respondent data, validate the SEM model using actual results, and actually connect acceptance finding with the prototype testing or user's experience evaluation. The main takeaway is that Assistive technology should not only be functional, it should also be useful, trusted, and acceptable to the people it is meant to serve. So these are the references, key references. This final slide lists the key references used in the paper. The study is anchored on Davis Technology Acceptance Model and the extension by Venkatesh and Davis. The methodology and SEM discussion are supported by Hare and colleagues and Klein. The reliability discussion is supported by Tabor. The assistive technology context is supported by World Health Organization, the Philippine Statistics Authority, and recent literature on eye-controlled wheelchair system. These references strengthen the paper because they connect the study to established theories, accepted statistical methods, and current assistive technology literature. That would be all. Thank you.